Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life studios, it is the Bourbon Life crew. We've got Philip.
Hey.
What's up, Philip?
Not much. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Got my co-host, Matthew. What's up, Matt?
Not much. Should we say not welcome back, but just welcome to?
Welcome to?
Yeah, because we haven't been back.
All right, well, welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast again, Matt.
In order to be back from something, you have to be somewhere.
We kind of were away.
That's
so
right.
We're back. So
we're back.
Yeah.
You all, our listeners are too.
Man,
So
yes.
welcome to.
Hopefully. It's good to have you back, Matt. Thanks for throwing that whole thing off kilter, man.
Great to be back. Great to throw the show off kilter.
And we have Stacy.
Oh, hello.
How are you? Look at you all tan. Where'd you go? We were just at the beach, weren't you?
Yep, sure was.
Yeah.
Sure was, and now I'm back to,
How was that trip?
it was great.
Awesome.
And now I came back to cold, rainy, wet Kentucky.
And I'm so disappointed that you didn't wear your bathing suit.
I didn't wear my Borat swimsuit, but, you know, I've got another beach trip coming up. Maybe that one will be it.
Because you wore it over here for a show once, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I said it would put some hair on your chest.
Is that part of we're playing a game. We'll talk about that here in just a second, but
No, that's not going to be part of it.
that's not part of
I was
it. Man. So we got some great stuff poured up here tonight, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we do that, Philip came up with a great idea for a show. So, Philip, tell everybody what we're going to be doing or trying to do tonight.
All right, so tonight we're going to do Bourbon Life Jeopardy.
All right.
So, since I come up with all the questions, so I guess I'll be the host.
Alex Trebek.
So, it's going to be Jeopardy style.
I sincerely hope, I mean, I know you probably did because you're a good, honest person, that you did actually come up with all the questions. Yeah. But deep inside, I hope you just like ChatGPT, like,
I did. Now, I
give
told
me
Mark,
random questions, and then like 2 minutes later, you're done.
I didn't do that, but I did tell Mark I had to use Gronk on Twitter to find a few episodes because you can't go back through like Spotify or Apple.
Okay.
It only goes back to season 5.
Really?
So I was like, well, that's not going to help me any.
Yeah, for some reason they only list like 100 episodes on Spotify and Apple. I know for sure. And with Mike's show being in our stuff too, the whiskey trip, it cuts. I mean, so if you go back 100, that's 50 of ours, 50 of his. So
Yeah, like I couldn't even go back to find like
you probably couldn't get
where
back.
like Angel Share episodes,
Yeah.
or I couldn't go back and find any of those.
Man, that was old. That was
Oh, the Angel Share podcast. That was a long time ago.
22?
Yeah. I think it was 22. I
Yeah,
think.
I did find that it started in 22, but that's not one of the
Holy
questions.
It was a short-lived experiment.
Hey,
It was good.
it was fun.
Yeah, you guys
Damn it.
are doing a good job. So, Philip, before we jump into the game, we should probably talk about what we're going to be drinking this round, right? So I'll talk about this because a friend of mine from high school, I did not go to high school with her, but she was from the same area, so I've known her since then.
Eastern Kentucky was the area.
Hey, it's from Eastern Kentucky. That's right. She went to
Bingo.
Boyd County High School. I went to Russell. Anyway,
Are those neighboring counties?
Boyd County neighbors Greenup County. So Russell is in Greenup County. Yeah,
Okay.
northeastern Kentucky up on the river.
The short answer is yes.
Short
Okay.
answer. The long answer, even longer, Matt. Yes,
So you two are related then?
we are related. Yes.
Was she at your family reunion?
She was Saturday. No, she was not at my reunion. The Rucker family reunion where the tree has no branches. But anyway, so she reached out and she was kind enough to shit.
To shit?
Yeah.
This escalated quickly.
Right.
I was gonna say give. She didn't
Oh,
give
hold
me.
on. And we're just going to gloss over that he said the Rucker family tree has no branches. That means you're like,
I'm just
that's come on.
Come on. I'm just. It's an Eastern Kentucky joke. Come on, you got to give me credit for that.
That
Come
family tree is as flat as the flat woods it came from.
on, man. Look, man. Say what you want. Don't talk bad about Flatwoods. All right.
How many sister cousins do you have?
Look, there were some cute girls at my reunion. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh
all
my
right?
God.
So
Shut up.
I'm gonna leave it at
You
that.
can take the boy out of the holler. But
There you
can't
go.
take the
Yeah.
holler out of the boy.
That's right. Anyway, so
God.
she was kind enough to sell me this bottle of Seagram's Benchmark. I believe it's a 1975 because it came in this, or with this ceramic vase, if everybody can see that. And it says that it was from the American Legion National Convention in 1975. So my assumption is, and I don't know, I've not seen actually any dates on this bottle, but I'm assuming that it was 1975 or potentially earlier.
That was probably a major award.
A major award. That could have been. I mean, or everybody that showed up could have gotten a bottle. I don't know, man. So, but it was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 1975.
It's going to make a hell of an ashtray.
I think so. I agree. But as for the bourbon, you want to talk about notes on that before we jump
I
into the
haven't
game?
even smelled anything
Has
yet.
anybody done anything? No?
I've been too busy thinking about your family tree.
Oh, my
or
goodness.
It does have
lack of
a good
branches.
dusty nose,
Yeah.
and it's really caramel forward.
I hate that Chad's not here because I know he's had, what did he say, like
He's
4
really
or 5 of these
he's really
bottles?
upset that he's not here too, because that's the only reason why he wanted to come tonight was to try this.
He didn't even want to participate in the game or anything else. He just wanted to drink this.
No, he gave Philip credit. He said he actually came up with a good topic.
Yeah, he did. That's true.
You know, Chad is actually here to drink. He's behind the. He's not actually
He's
participating.
behind the
He just came
Contractually,
to-
he's with a new podcast now, so he has.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's right.
It.
He's got a non-compete.
Chad
It's
squared.
sausage night.
Chad squared. You're so stupid. Sausage night.
Anyhow, Matt, did you nose this yet?
2 beards, 1 show.
Oh, man. I'm so glad he's not here now. This is great. Sorry, Chad.
I like the nose on this. It's kind of crisp and refreshing, along with those dusty notes Philip was talking about. It's like very caramel forward. That corn comes through, but I also pick up a little bit of a peppermint underneath all of it. I think there's probably some rye spice in here that's a little bit minty. Kind of cuts through some of those dusty, caramel heavy, vanilla heavy corn notes. There's just that.
Slight hint of mint.
Yeah, that little hint, that like brightness in there. I think for being as old as it is, this actually I think smells a little younger. Sometimes you think of an older whiskey as sometimes like funkier. It might have just turned in the bottle and not really been that great. I think this one has held up to the test of time remarkably.
I mean, it's a 6-year-old. It's 86 proof. I guess
that color is pretty.
The color is like pretty amazing. I thought anyway. Looking at the whole bottle, I mean, knowing it's only 6 years old, I'm like, that looks
It's pretty
really
dark.
Pretty dark for 86 proof bourbon, right?
Yeah.
So, Stacey, what about you? Anything?
I agree with Matt. There is a brightness on the nose. Caramel obviously is very forward on this one, but I'm getting like a little bit of like a citrus on it, like a little splash of like lemon or something on there. But
Yeah, that's what when Matt said brightness. That's where I thought he was kind of going, was maybe kind of a citrusy brightness.
But I also see the mintiness,
mintiness, yeah.
but it comes across more as like the mints that they put out at weddings, like a buttermint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, almost like a creamy, like it smells creamy on the nose, right? Like a
It
butter,
does.
like a
It
buttercream.
smells like buttery.
Like a buttercream, buttery. Yeah.
I
mean,
like the nose on it a lot.
When I first opened it, it was like almost got a whiff of butterscotch, but I don't get that as much as that caramel now. But yeah, I mean, it's an inviting nose, and I think I did the whole Chat GPT thing on this because tell me about Seagram's benchmark, and it gave me a whole thing about it. But apparently, they came out with this to kind of be an upscale premium type of bourbon. So they, that's why they changed the bottle design to make it look a little fancier. They put all the little funky labels on it, make it a little higher end type of bourbon to attract more people, even at 86 proof, which is kind of funny, but I guess that was kind of the going thing back then, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say around that time that was probably pretty standard proof.
Yeah, 80 to 86 proof.
Yeah.
That's
We're not old enough to know though, so.
well, I was alive, thank you, and you guys weren't.
No.
But as a matter of fact, I was 6 years. No, I was.
You
7.
don't have to tell.
Well, I was just saying because it's a 6-year-old bourbon, so this could have been distilled actually in the year that I was born.
Could have been.
Very close, potentially could have been. Yeah, but I do like it. It's sweet. It's almost very desserty, with that caramel.
With the color, I almost wonder if there was some older barrels in there.
Oh, mixed in.
Yeah.
That
And then when they proofed it down, it kind of.
Yeah, that makes it because they'd still have to go. Even back then, they still had to go with the youngest barrel, right?
Yeah.
So 6 years old. So there could have been
That would make
something
sense.
older.
I wish I would have known. I would have brought a hydrometer. It would have been fun to proof it and see what it
If it
what it
held
held
86
or what we're looking at proof wise.
Yeah, that's true. Because Well, we'll talk about
Yeah,
the
we
palate.
might get to that more with the palate. but-
Yeah, for sure.
So, Philip, I'm curious to hear more. Sorry to interrupt. Tell us a little bit more about this game here.
Okay, so we're
like,
going to do 3 rounds. We've got 3 categories.
So, one category per round, or are we jumping all
so
over?
you can pick, each contestant gets to pick the category they want to choose from. You got questions 100, 200, 300, 400 in each category. That's worth your points.
Okay.
We should have made a board.
It's just like the Jeopardy show.
Okay.
Have you
There's
ever watched Jeopardy?
2
Matt?
questions in here that are
I
the
know a little something
There's
about
2
it.
questions in here that are the daily double. So that you get to pick how many points you're going to wager on that question.
Okay.
All the other ones, whatever category you choose, the amount, that's how many points you're wagering.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you get the question wrong,
Yeah.
then one of them 2 can steal without risk of losing points
Does
if they
the-
know the answer.
Does the person who gets it wrong go in the negative?
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have any points, or if you already have 300, you
Would
pick
lose,
a 100, you lose 100 points. Yeah.
Okay.
So if someone knows, is it like who can ever answer the fastest?
Well,
Or
I
is
was
it- are you just
I was
gonna
going
let
to do
each
it.
person-
We're just kind of going to
Yeah,
go 1, 2,
yeah,
3.
cool.
So each person.
Well, ladies first. Stacey, let's let you go. And the categories again are
All right. The Bourbon Life Podcast history, bourbon history, or the bourbon industry.
come on, Stacey. And there's 100, 200, 300,
And 400.
Let's do Bourbon Life Podcast history for 100, please.
Yes.
Okay. What was the official release date of episode 1 of the Bourbon Life Podcast?
I have no idea. It's been what?
I think I know.
6 years ago? 5?
5, a little over
5
5,
years
but I
ago?
think I know the official date.
Yeah, I've got nothing. So I'm minus 100.
Let me, because Mark, I think you know it. Do you mind if I just try and
Sure, yeah.
try and stab?
Yeah.
You need year as well.
Yeah.
Oh, crank.
Date.
5 years ago, Matt.
So the date. That's
Date would have been, I'm just going to guess, February 19, 2020.
I'm going to say February 7th, 2020.
so Matt was actually closer.
No.
February 14th, 2020.
oh, it was
a week-
Valentine's Day.
I was a week off.
How
I don't know why I
cute.
thought it. I thought it was the week before, man. Daggone it! I've always thought it was February 7th. I don't even know the.
Wow.
That's
That's
awful.
romantic.
So there was actually, so you're kind of right, because you did the
We did
introduction
the
to.
prelude on the 7th. That was the first episode.
That's not
So
the first episode. That's a prelude. That's not episode 1.
Oh, see, I should get the points for that because our first release was February 7th, even though it was our. Remember, we sat upstairs in your puffy jacket.
Yeah, I do. That's probably.
Oh, my
I remember
gosh.
that
All
right.
episode.
I'll let you. I can
Valentine's
give you
Day.
100 on the technicality, but the
I
first
appreciate
Oh,
that.
he doesn't deserve
Are you
that.
kidding me? It was February 7th.
Episode 1.
was the 14th.
All right. Anyway, does that mean Stacey gets to go again?
No, because I
No,
didn't
because
get it right.
she didn't get it. So now one of you 2 can go.
Matt, go ahead, man.
All right, I will take the bourbon industry for 200.
Wow, you're going
All right.
like not even for the 100, just jumping.
What company produces Kentucky Gentleman Bourbon?
Oh my God.
That's the bottom shelfer. That's like the cheapest of the cheap.
Leave it to you to come up with that one, Phil.
Yeah. Kentucky Gentleman.
I'm not going to ask you where it's produced, just the actual
distillery.
parent company that, the
Kentucky Gentleman is. Oh my gosh. I should probably be like timed out from this, but I will just fancy a guess and say Beam Suntory.
that is not correct.
I'm going to say Heaven Hill.
I was going to say Heaven Hill.
Sazerac Company.
Really? Damn.
Daggone.
We suck, dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm in the
What a
hole.
humbling experience. Philip, did you know the answers to?
Oh, hell no. I looked these up. Most of them, some of them I knew.
That was a good
but
question, though.
That is a
That's
good
it.
question.
That is a really good question. Things that we should know, right? So, all right. So let's. Number one, let's also talk about Matt's ham because he originally cut it
Yeah.
in December, and he brought it back over tonight. So we're enjoying some shreds of Matt's Kentucky
is very good.
cured Kentucky ham, which is
Philip,
now
would
almost
you like some? Because Mark and I
wait,
are just destroying
24,
it.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29 months.
Yeah. About
Yeah.
28, 29 months.
Yeah, and it's delicious. It's better than when you cut it originally back in December. I think so. So thanks for bringing it.
I liked
bringing
it in
over.
December, but I think it's like mellowed out.
I wonder if that's because we're a little bit further into the center of the ham now.
Oh,
Whereas,
so,
so you're salt rubbing everything on the exterior, where your first tasting is probably going to be like pretty salty, a little intense, but now you get a little bit more into the ham itself.
I think it's
True.
crazy how far the salt actually penetrates.
Yeah.
the
Right?
ham. Yeah.
It's
so
really
it goes
good.
all the way through. It has to get
Yeah.
the moisture out, otherwise you're going to get bacteria. So I mean, the salt. That's why you have to let it sit for so long.
I feel sorry for the poor bastards that tested that out.
Could you
See how
imagine?
it tastes.
Hey guys, it's like, hey, I've got an idea, guys. Now who wants to try this 6 months after?
Who wants to see if they die?
Yeah, no doubt. It's like, look
You
at
think
that.
2 weeks is enough?
Look at that berry. What do you think that tastes like? Oh God, I'm dead. Yeah. So let's see. Before we go back into the game, any topics coming up? Stacy, as you take a big swig.
Sorry.
You got to go. RD1 just
I
opened their
did,
distillery
yeah.
in Lexington. Was that last week?
It was last week.
Yeah,
It was
I was-
last Tuesday.
Yeah, I was on the road for work. I didn't get to go.
It was a great event. Lots of local people from the area were there. They had great food catered in, like little finger foods, and then they had some barrels set up where you could thieve straight from the barrel.
Oh, did they?
That
That's
was really cool. They had their Mizunara, cherry wood, American oak, and blanking out on the other one. French oak. They had their
Okay.
French oak.
Nice.
So you could thieve that straight from the barrel, and then they had some cocktails available throughout the evening. It was a really, really, really good event.
So what about the distillery itself? I mean, did you get to see much of it? Or?
Yeah, so they had like the welcome area, obviously, welcome center area open where it'll just be like where you first walk in. They had that open, and then they had their single, where you can go in and do barrel picks. They had that room open. And then when you go upstairs, they had their big bar area, opens up to their patio, so they had the garage doors open for
nice.
it. Speakeasy was open where you could go in. I'm not going to tell you where it's at. You got to figure it out for yourself. They had that open, so you could
So
go
they have a
check that out.
speakeasy
They
there
do
too?
have a
Okay.
speakeasy.
Escape room.
Where is it located at?
So it's like when you're heading towards, oh my God.
It's on Turner Commons.
Yes,
if
Turner
you're
Commons.
heading out Leestown Road.
Yeah,
out of
it's
town,
on the
just
right.
past the cemetery.
Yep.
Okay.
You go over the
train
bridge.
tracks.
Yep.
And those that big, was it Lorillard Lofts or whatever it used to be called
Yeah.
or whatever on the right,
Yeah.
the big old brick building and
Yep.
the railroad tracks.
There's a big
it's-
pickleball court
Like I'm pointing, like,
area
hey, everybody, it's over here.
out that way, or like a axe throwing.
Yeah, it's
all of that
axe
stuff.
throwing,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Maybe not pickleball, but anyway, it'll be an up and coming area, I think, in Lexington because
Sure.
they're doing a lot of the development out there. But it's a really nice space. Go check it out. Staff is great. Bartenders are great.
Good. Well, I hate that I missed it because I love Barry.
Barry's a good
He's
dude.
been on our show at least, twice, if not 3 times.
Is that one of the questions?
We need
It
to
is not. Barry's not one of the answers.
We need to get him back on the show again, Barry Brenniger. But yeah, good dude. And I hate that I missed it. But I mean, obviously saw the pictures. I know he was on another podcast this week. I'm not going to mention who that was, but anyway.
It was a great event. They did a good job.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'd love to go down there. And Barry has offered graciously. He's like, anytime you guys want to come down and just let me know. I'm like, all right.
Maybe we can take a Bourbon Life field trip.
Yeah.
Field trip for the Bourbon Life to RD1 Distillery here in Lexington. I'm all for that. I think that'd be great. All right, Philip, you want to jump back? We can do some more questions.
All right.
2 more questions, and then we'll talk about the palate and finish.
So, Mark, this is on you. Pick a category.
Let's go. So we already did Bourbon Life for 100, right? Wait, we haven't done the.
We've done the
we haven't
Bourbon
done
Life
Bourbon
history for 100. We've done the Bourbon Industry for 200.
And what was the other one?
Bourbon history,
Let's
yeah.
do Bourbon History for 100.
You should definitely know these. As a master of bourbon, wasn't this?
This one is probably the easiest question of the night. So,
Well, that's 100.
Now, if I
so-
miss it, it's going to suck.
who is considered the father of bourbon?
The father of bourbon? Wait, isn't it Elijah Craig, isn't it?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
yeah. That's so Mark gets 100
Ah,
points.
look at that. Mark's on the board.
Yeah. I was like, that's my favorite bourbon. And I was thinking, is that what they. I'm like, yeah. I was thinking E.H. Taylor. I'm like, no, he's not the father of bourbon.
No.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. So then we go
It
back
says
to
it
steak.
right on the boxes. If you
I know,
look at
the
a
father
box
of
of
bourbon. I know.
yeah.
But that's what, in my mind,
of
Matt, I was
bourbon.
visualizing bottles and other things.
all right,
and I was like,
Stacy, pick your
I
category.
got it. Come on, Stacy.
Let's do Bourbon Industry for 100.
Okay. What parent company owns Maker's Mark Bourbon?
You don't know this? Stacy.
Maker's Mark. Hold on. Oh my God.
Nope.
I'm not looking.
It probably doesn't say on
It does.
there,
It doesn't.
I wouldn't think
It
it'd
may
say.
not,
It might
yeah.
not.
I just keep going to Suntory, but that's Beam. I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Guess anything?
What's your guess?
I don't have one.
Okay. So who does it go to? Do we get
Well, anybody
You
can
guys can
steal,
arm
so
wrestle
it's
over it.
between it's between you two. Whoever wants to
Beam
steal.
Suntory?
It is?
Huh?
Okay.
Yep, Mark got it.
Ah.
Yep, you had the answer. And
You
didn't
had the
say it.
answer, but you weren't confident in your answer, and I wasn't going to give you any because I wanted those points. Damn it!
Damn it.
Yeah, it's Beam,
I just need to
it
go
is
with
Beam
my gut.
Suntory. I don't remember when they bought them, but yeah.
Sweating.
Oh my gosh, put her on the spot.
sweating.
So that was question number 4.
Yep.
So that was okay. Cool. So we're done with that round, and I got a win. 200 points.
Yep, Mark's got 200. Stacy's got
Negative.
negative 200,
Hey,
and Matt's
did I-
negative 200.
Did I ever tell you guys when I was growing up in Eastern Kentucky at Russell High School that I was on the high Q academic team?
I was on the academic team too.
Wasn't that just so you
It
could like
wasn't about bourbon though.
drink Rebel Yell out of your buddies?
I did. We
Dads,
would have practice
yeah.
sessions, and I would go to. That's where I first drank bourbon. Was it
During academic team practice?
Yes, because I was an alternate, so I was never in the actual games, the events. So I would go and I would help. My job was to
So you were
research,
the, you were
to
the
just
degenerate.
To drink your
come up with
friend's
questions,
dad's bourbon.
and then I would rate his dad. I'd take a Coke with me, and his dad was a huge Rebel Yell fan. So that was the first bourbon I ever drank. I would get into his Rebel Yell and mix it with my Coke and sit there, and they would answer questions, and I would ask them, and I would drink Rebel Yell and
Well,
Coke.
I wasn't an afterthought on the academic team.
But wait, I shouldn't say that. Let's see. I was actually 21 years old at the time.
So
when
you
I
were
was-
kind of like the proverbial coxswain of like a crew team here, where like
I'm a
you know,
what?
the coxswain, or everybody else is doing the
That's
heavy,
not what
the
your
heavy
mother said,
lifting.
Trebek. A coxswain? I don't know what a coxswain is.
It's the little person in the boat
Oh, that
in
cheers-
crew. Yeah, that's
that yells
that's
out,
yelling at the
"Row."
guys, keeping them,
Yeah.
stroke, and giving them instructions.
And he's a
So
coxswain,
you were
and he's telling
you were
them
the
to stroke?
stroker.
Oh my God.
The stroker of the athletic team. No,
cool.
academic team.
Oh, Cooter the Stroker.
Yeah. The old
I got a big hunk of ham there. Sorry.
the old
I bet
flat
you said
palm
that
of
back in the day,
flatwoods.
Oh my God, guys. Let's talk about the palate and the finish.
Why don't you tell us about the palate and the finish? You
I just got a
chugged
big
that shit
chunk of-
down.
Pork fat. Sorry.
Oh my God, I'm crying.
It's spicy. This is spicy. I'm very surprised. 86 proof. I think it drinks pretty warm. It's got a nice hot tingle to it, good lingering effect. The corn really comes through on the palate. I think good corn in there. That rye is there to brighten it up as well. I think it drinks more dusty than it noses.
Yeah.
Kind of brings some of those dustier old flavors. But I'm actually very surprised at how bright and spicy it is.
All right, Stacy, what do you took a sip. What do you think?
Agree. Definitely drinks way hotter than 86. Well, maybe not way, but hotter than what I thought it would be. Rye spice does come through. It's not as sweet on the palate as it is on the nose. But I think this is really damn good.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
that.
The spicy, that first sip after I had that ham was not spicy, I think, because I had so much salt. But then that sip was, that spiciness came through because I'm thinking, this is just sweet. But no, it's spicy. But there's that sweetness, not as much, like you said, Stacey, on the nose. This would be a bottle you could probably sit and drink quite a bit of.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it's like sweet on the front of your palate. I get more of the spiciness like in my chest when it like once you swallow it. I don't really get a whole lot of it on the palate.
But I agree. I think it drinks warmer than 86 proof
I think it's really good.
for sure.
It's not as desserty on the palate as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like real, like
Yes, I agree.
creme brulee, like bomb on the palate. But
Yep, I
think
agree
it's
with
good.
that 100%. Because I was expecting after that nose, I'm like, this is just going to be like drinking like iced tea or, sweet tea or something. But no, that spice really kicks through. I don't have any idea what the mash bill is. I'd be curious. Maybe a higher rye. I mean, it's a Seagram's product. So I don't know. I don't know
good.
what they were doing high rye back then and what they were doing. So guys, we're at the end of round one. Final thoughts though on this Seagram's benchmark, 6-year-old 86 proof.
Chad's going to be pissed he missed it.
Yep.
And I'm going to lock that bottle up and
Never let him touch it.
nobody ever gets in. Since he couldn't be here for the show,
If you can find one in your grandparents' liquor cabinet, get it for sure.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, she gave me a good, really, 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 really good price on that one. So
Did she say how she came across this?
she did not. I think it was in I think it was in her family because she's not a bourbon drinker. So I think it was someone in her family or her husband's family maybe, and they just had it. So they were just ready to get rid of it. I'm like, she knew, of course, somewhere.
I wish my family drank.
Well, I mean, think about how
Come
long.
on.
How long have I been doing this? Since I started the Instagram in December of 2018. So we're going on 6.5 years, and I've never had anybody reach out and be like, "Oh, hey, Grandma had this bottle," and so this is the first time in that time period that I've actually had someone reach out to say, "Hey, I've got this old bottle. Would you like it?" So I'm like, "Yes." So every 6 years, I can look forward maybe to somebody.
It's nice. It's like
Sliding in the DMs.
your circadian rhythm.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, right. Circadian rhythm. When the cicadas, although that's
Yeah.
every 7 years.
Every 7, yeah, like the plague, right? All right, guys, let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chord's line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back for round 2 of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life studios, around the flights of the rectangular table, it's the Bourbon Life Crew. It's my good friend. Well, she was my good friend. Now she's a friend. It's Stacy.
Just going down a little bit more every time. That's fine.
That's what she said.
Next will
That's
be
what she said.
acquaintance.
And my co-host, Matt.
What's up, Mark?
What's up, Matt?
Not much. Good to be back.
I miss you, man.
Miss you
I
too.
miss not
Good to
seeing
be
you.
here, not back. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you for correcting me on myself.
Matt's happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here.
And
Don't
Philip.
tell him what to.
I'm
don't
happy
tell
to be
him
here
he's
as well.
happy.
Yeah.
Looking forward to
Don't
testing that Master of Bourbon title you got.
Yeah. Well, who's
That's
in the
really
lead?
what this is all about.
Who's in the lead and who's losing?
Hey.
Let's just look at that.
Wow.
All the easy questions have gotten out of the way now.
All right, now we're going for the hard stuff.
Oh, God.
That's what she said.
That's not what your mother said.
Oh, no.
Thanks for spilling. Stacy also brought us beer to enjoy tonight.
I
What'd you
did.
bring us?
I brought some Conch Republic,
Conch.
whatever. Conch Republic.
It's a conch shell, isn't it?
It's conch.
Conch.
Conch. The CH is it's conch.
Anyway, I brought some beer for these ungrateful bastards.
I like it. I'm
it's
grateful.
a key lime wheat ale from Siesta Key.
Actually, it's Monongahela Republic.
You're such a dick. It's good. It's good.
It is good. It's key lime. Yeah, key lime wheat beer. I'm a wheat beer kind of guy. So,
Me too.
and
Big
key lime.
Top Brewing. They canceled the circus and they started brewing beer.
Damn right.
From Sarasota, Florida.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're happy to do that. Normally,
Hey, I watched that Pee Wee Herman documentary. That's where he's from.
I did not watch
Yeah,
that.
It's
Really?
Good. It's
I haven't
good.
seen
Yeah,
it yet.
He's from Sarasota.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. It looks pretty interesting. Was it good?
It's good. It's sad.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Man, it's
well.
like somebody
It's-
wrote
yeah.
that. Like you made us laugh for so many years, and now you made us cry.
So when they're
Don't-
interviewing,
don't ruin it.
When they're interviewing him, he loves to fuck with people. Still, like it was like very much still him.
Him.
But yeah, the ending of this, his whole story, it's pretty sad. But it was good. It was
Okay.
interesting.
I'll chat GPT what the ending is.
Tell me what happens. I don't have time to watch it. So anyway, so we're doing our Bourbon Life Jeopardy. Thanks to Philip. What a genius
AKA
idea.
Alex Trebek.
Yeah, and Chad can't be here to participate and enjoy it. Let's talk about what we have poured up for this round. Stacey?
For this round, we have the new Star Hill Farm from Maker's Mark. Gorgeous bottle. We think that's ceramic.
I think it may be.
It feels like
Matt,
ceramic coated.
What do you think?
I don't know. It's heavy.
Beautiful packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah. Super nice bottle. Cork, real cork, not synthetic.
Yeah, it's like the glass is something like a hammered copper.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Kinda,
It's really cool.
yeah. I mean, it's a glass bottle, but it looks like it's been
Yeah.
hammered.
Yeah. It has some texture to it for sure. Do you want me to read about it now?
Just tell a little bit, because it's a wheat whiskey.
Correct. So this is the first new mash bill and first wheat whiskey in Maker's Mark's 70-year history. So their focus with this particular release is regenerative agriculture.
Yep.
So they're going to change it up every year with each release. So as of May 22nd, guys, we're getting pretty recent with this.
Yeah.
We made up a lot of time.
They just dropped it off last week.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yep. So this is going to be available on shelves in the United States, United Kingdom, and Australia later in 2025. They are actually planning on cutting down on the amount of corn that is used in the mash bill each year.
Huh.
So what they are saying here is the inaugural release is going to highlight soft red winter wheat, the distinctive grain of Maker's Mark mash bill. Wow, that's a mouthful. And
That's what she said.
It will remove corn entirely, allowing the wheat to truly shine. The 2025 release of Star Hill Farm whiskey is crafted from 2 mash bills, one with 70% soft red winter wheat and 30% malted barley, and the other with 100% malted soft red winter wheat.
Huh.
Malted wheat.
Yeah.
All right.
And no corn. At all.
None.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, for a wheat whiskey, though, you could have, as long as it's 51% wheat, you can still call it a wheat whiskey, just like bourbon, right? I mean, if it's corn, 51%. But that doesn't have any corn.
Right.
Okay.
It's got an ABV of 57.35%, which is 114.7 proof.
Wow.
Suggested retail price of $100.
Okay.
Limited release will be available at select retailers nationwide and available for purchase at Maker's Mark Distillery by booking a Star Hill Farm whiskey experience.
There's nothing on there that says like embargoed until whenever, because you're reading that, I'm thinking this has already been released, I think. There's no
I don't
embargo.
see an embargo on here.
Like-
and if so,
I'm like,
sorry, Mark
yeah,
didn't tell me, guys.
Sorry, Maker's Mark. We're disclosing. Well, this won't go out till Friday, so as long it would say it in like big caps, all bold. It would say
I don't
embargoed.
see anything here.
Yeah, because sometimes I get those notices. It's like this is embargoed until, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
I just think it's cool because they've used the same mash bill for
Ever.
ever
their
Since
entire existence,
They
and now
started
they're
in what,
gonna
53, 1953. I think.
What's the age on this?
I don't know if it says, does it? I don't know if it.
grains harvested, distilled, and barreled in fall 2016 and 2017.
Okay, so it's 8 and 9 years. Is that right? Close. Well, not
Fall.
quite.
Yeah, 7 and 8.
Yeah, 7 and 8. Which is Maker's Mark is typically between 6 and 8, right? So
If you want to find out more, go to starhillfarm.com.
cool. And that's the farm itself is called Star Hill Farm,
Yes.
which is where
Yep.
down in Loretto, which is where Maker's Mark is and where they're produced. And who owns them, Stacy?
Shut up, Beam Centauri. I freaking knew it, and I didn't stick with my gut.
That's okay. That's all right. Philip, what do you get on the nose? I see you over the nose on it, man. What do you think?
So initially, I got almost like a licorice mint type, just
Okay.
boom, strong. But as it's aired out, it's got more of those softer wheat notes.
Yeah. Stacy, what about you? What do you get?
It's coming across a little grassy to me.
Yeah, it almost noses more like a rye.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was going to say. I'm getting like the mintiness, a little mintiness, a little grassiness on it. I don't know. I'm intrigued by this nose. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be
Yeah.
at all.
Matt, what about you?
To me, this is like Twizzlers and
Strawberries.
like all day.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet.
Yeah.
I like the nose. I think it's really, really sweet. It's soft. Some of that wheat does shine through, kind of that, there's like a slight toasted bread type aroma that comes through. I think a little bit of the barley. I was hoping to get a little bit more of the malted wheat note. I think that could be like a really interesting note on the nose, but it's really nice.
I wonder if the malt maybe comes through on the palate. I'm curious.
find out.
Yeah, we'll find out here shortly, right? Yeah, I was like almost like a strawberry Danish when I was nosing this. And with Maker's Mark, that red winter wheat for some reason always comes across as almost like strawberries to me. Every time I drink Maker's Mark, I almost always that pops out. So I was like, okay, let's get the red winter wheat. That makes sense. And then Matt said it, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go with the strawberry because that's what I'm getting. But I agree with that kind of breadiness. But to me, it's almost like a pastry type of aroma with strawberry added to it.
So their official notes say,
awesome.
The nose captivates buttery caramel, your favorite, Mark,
Yeah.
golden raisins, and gingerbread.
I did not call any of those.
I wouldn't necessarily say any of those jumped out at me.
No.
No, I think somebody's smoking crack at Makers.
Also, I forgot to mention this is uncut.
Oh, okay.
So
Like your last boyfriend. So anyway, so let's jump back.
holy shit,
Let's
Mark.
jump back over.
You don't even know.
What if he does?
Ew.
I was in the high Q team in high school.
feel
So I know
sorry
a lot
for
of
What did you call him? He was like the cock rider or something like that.
coxswain. The coxswain. Anyway, back to our game. Who stays? We'll go back with Stacy on our Jeopardy game. Stacy, start again.
I thought I just did one.
No,
It's
I am
Matt's
up.
turn.
I am
Oh,
up.
sorry, Matt.
Sorry, I
Shit,
didn't do
you're
my
trying
job.
to screw me over,
All
Rucker.
right. I'm going to try to
Ass.
get myself on the board here. Give me Bourbon Life History for 300, please, Philip.
All right.
Damn, he's going large.
Well, I got to make up for it.
That's what she said.
What season and episode number was the first Bourbon Life Crew episode?
What season and episode number? Season 3, episode 15.
You had the season right, not the episode. Anybody want to steal?
Wow.
Oh,
But if we try it, if we miss it, we get points taken off.
Well,
or-
no, you don't lose
No,
points. He
Okay.
just,
stealing.
Yeah, you get a chance
What
to steal.
did you say? 15?
I did. I was wrong.
The 8 is incorrect.
I'm going to go with episode 4.
Incorrect. It was episode 6.
Damn.
Very close.
Season
2022.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would have been
wow.
the full crew. Right.
No, that was the first episode with me and Chad.
I was going to say,
And that
I
was
wasn't here
labeled,
till
yeah.
later.
Okay.
That was labeled the Bourbon Life Crew.
All right.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry for you guys.
Because you
I
weren't
wasn't
here.
here yet.
Well, I mean, we're better. We're better and improved now, Stacy.
Listen, I can take that beer back, Rucker.
Oh, you can have it. Hold on. Let me get it worked up. Anyway,
Ew.
All right, Mark, now it's to you. Let's roll into the
I'm going
next
to stick
category.
with bourbon history because I did 100. So can we do bourbon history for 200, please?
Okay. What master distiller led the charge in passing the Bottled in Bond Act of 1897?
That would be Colonel E.H. Taylor.
That is correct.
Damn it, I knew that one.
Then up. Yeah.
200.
All right, so that's two questions. Oh, so let's talk about some things coming up in June at Beam. Actually, it's going to be at Fred and Freddie No's house. So they've started this whole new thing in Bardstown, the National Bourbon Week. You guys familiar with that? Have you heard about National Bourbon Week? Anyway, it's a thing. So of course, there's the Kentucky Bourbon Festival in September, and that is Bourbon Heritage Month, right? Now there's a National Bourbon Week. And it is.
How is that what? Okay.
What's that, Matt?
What happens during National Bourbon Week?
A bunch of different events.
Okay. So this is
It's a thing. Yeah, it started at Bardstown.
okay.
So they have started doing this now. It's June 9th through the 13th. There's a ton of different events. I don't have the email pulled up. But I mean, they're doing different stuff every night in Bardstown. And I hate to say that I can't remember who it is, if it's the Bourbon Capital Guild that's responsible for this, or if it's the city of Bardstown that's actually putting this together. But they did it last year, was the first year. So different events. So one of the events they're doing this year on Monday the 9th is a luau. So it's a pig roast at Fred and Freddie's house. They live in downtown Bardstown. So they're going to be set up, and they bring the kitchen table staff and people come and work. So it's going to be just a big Hawaiian party, pig roast, hanging out at Fred and Freddie's house because they live right beside each other in Bardstown. So it should be a fun time. And I've told them that I'd mention it on the podcast. I think they're
Are
sold.
you going to wear a cool Hawaiian shirt?
I am. Did you happen to see my post? I
Or a
posted-
coconut bra.
No, no coconut bra.
I'll let you borrow my Borat suit. Whatever.
No. I found a shirt. I've already ordered it.
Is it Tommy Bahama?
So no, it's like something that randomly popped up in my Facebook feed. I fall victim to those things all the time. It's like, oh,
You're a sucker for
I could do that. Yeah. So,
advertisements.
yeah. So we actually have shells from Kona when we were there for 2012 for the Ironman World Championship. They gave us necklaces made.
You're going to be that douche that wears a puka shell necklace.
Puka, that's it. Yes.
Yeah, you should bleach your hair.
Yeah, tips.
My wife saved those.
My wife.
No, she pulled out this bag of stuff and she's like, look, I still have puka. Couldn't remember the name.
Puka shell.
She's like, I still have our puka shell.
That's
I'm
what
like,
all the
I'm-
douchebag guys
Well,
wore
I
in
was
high
like,
school.
I'm not freaking with. She goes, hey, yeah, you are, because I'm going to wear out. So now apparently we're both wearing puka shell.
Anita's not a D-bag, though. So.
She's not. She's a beautiful woman, and she's going to be dressed up in a little Hawaiian.
Is she wearing a coconut bra?
You know what? I could maybe convince. No,
No,
probably
you won't.
not.
Good luck.
No. So it should be a lot of fun, but there are a ton of other events. Steve Coombs, I saw, is actually doing a pairing bourbon and country ham at Preservation Distillery.
Well,
One
that
of the-
sounds terrible.
Yeah, isn't that awful? So he's doing that. I think there's something big going on at Heaven Hill. I can't remember what it is, but a lot of the distilleries locally are going to be doing things, but that's June 9th through the, what's it say? 13th. So,
He's real good at math, y'all.
well, you can find it online, so check it out. But yeah, the luau's, I think they were sold out, but then I think they put some extra tickets online today. So by the time this comes out Friday, it's going to be sold out. But I'll post some pictures.
Oh, thank you.
It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Anyway, I promised them that I would talk about it. 'cause
We'll get the same invite we get to all the other Beam events.
Yeah.
You get nothing.
Wait,
Yeah.
guys, I don't make the rules, man.
Whatever.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on. Anyhow,
Let's just talk to Fred and Freddie ourselves and be like, listen,
listen, that guy's a douche. He wears
Listen,
he
Linda.
wears puka shell necklaces.
Yeah, right?
I mean, come on. You guys can't be seen with him at your house at all, right? Man. All right,
His license
we have
plate
to
cover
come-
says, I'd rather be drinking Elijah Craig.
ooh, shots fired.
I do love Elijah Craig. Real pretty.
We should start writing them letters and like, don't let Mark come.
Oh my gosh. Let's go back to the game because we're like tanking here. So let's get back to the.
All right, Stacy, pick your category.
Let's go bourbon history. What's available?
300 and 400.
Let's do 300.
Okay. At its peak before Prohibition, how many distilleries were located in Kentucky?
Are these questions that like people are supposed to know?
Probably.
This is supposed
Do
to be
you
a bourbon
know?
podcast.
How many distilleries existed before Prohibition?
Yeah.
At its peak
In Kentucky.
At its peak.
in Kentucky.
Oh, 12.
That is not correct.
I'm going to say like 173.
I am going to say, I'm going to go the other side of things and say 7.
That is incorrect. It was actually 2,000.
What?
Yes, there was 2,000 distilleries in Kentucky before Prohibition.
2,000? Holy crap.
How many were left during Prohibition? Oh,
That
is that a question?
no, it's not. I want to say during Prohibition.
Yeah.
Or after.
During Prohibition, how
I think
many?
it was 3, wasn't it? Was it 6? Okay.
Yep. 6 distilleries had.
2,000.
I didn't know it was that many. I knew it was a lot, but I was thinking 100.
2,000.
Yeah. I didn't realize.
Wow.
Oh well.
Wow.
So who asked that question? Who chose?
That was
you?
Stacey,
So
so
Matt.
that's to Matt.
Matt.
All right, I'm going to go big. Industry 400.
Yeah.
Industry 400.
Let me just keep
Okay.
Dang, dude.
Keep digging the hole deeper.
Who was the master distiller at Buffalo Trace before Harlan Wheatley?
Should I know this?
I'm going to be shocked if anybody knows this.
I don't
actually.
know. I don't
Okay.
know it.
So that helps because it's not Elmer. That would have been way too long ago.
Yeah.
So that makes me wonder, like, who would have done some time in there? I mean, the only name that comes to mind I can think is probably wrong would be like Larry Ebersol.
That is incorrect.
I've got nothing.
I don't know who it was.
It was Gary Gayhart.
Yep. Did not know that one.
He gets no recognition.
I was going to say, I've
ever.
never
They don't
freaking
put him
heard
on
his name.
anything.
I wonder
And
why,
he
man.
retired from there. I have no idea.
How long was he there for?
Like 25 years.
What? Seriously?
Something. Yeah.
Holy
It was.
shit.
I don't know exactly, but he retired from there.
Was it Ancient Age then?
So
he was-
I think he was there right as it transitioned to
Transitioned
Buffalo
over?
Trace. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah.
How long's Harlan been there? Do you know? I don't even know.
Like late 90s, maybe.
Was it? Okay. I can't
Early
remember. We
late
had him on
90s,
the
early 2000s.
had him on the
somewhere.
show, but I can't remember what his time.
He actually was under Gary, and then he took over as master
So
distiller.
why did they? I wonder why they never say anything about him.
I have no idea.
Anybody
And he
out there?
retired from there. It
Yes.
wasn't like,
Yeah. he
Anybody
retired.
out there know the reason why he does not get any credit? Please let us know. 'Cause
Harlan joined the distillery as a supervisor in 95.
When did he become master distiller?
That's
though?
what I
Do you
just
know?
asked it. He was promoted to distillery manager in 2000. But I asked, when did he take
I wanted
over?
to say it was like 2005.
Huh. Well, I don't know myself, so
But
interesting.
yeah, the long lost master distiller of Buffalo Trace.
Interesting.
You would think that somebody would have known that though. 25 years that he was there.
Harlan was named master distiller in 2005.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. 20 years now. Damn.
That's crazy.
Gary
Gary Gayhart.
Gayhart. I can't even remember his name. Wow. Wow. That's awful. I feel
Yeah, I
feel
want to
terrible.
say
because
he took over for Elmer. Like when Elmer
Yeah, I was
left,
gonna
he
say,
took over
'cause
and
Elmer
was there
would've been-
until Harlan. Yeah.
that makes sense. I had no idea. Obviously.
I'm going to be doing some reading
Yeah,
about
it's
that.
it's confusing to me. I'm like, how does this guy not get? Because
He was there for 33 years, it says.
so like a lot of the stuff he put out is like sought after stuff.
That's the stuff people are going
Yeah.
nuts about, right?
Yeah.
He's born in Floyd County,
Was he really?
Mm-hmm.
I know where that is. Prestonsburg.
Eastern Kentucky.
That's right. Prestones. US 23. Country Music Highway.
Interesting.
Have you guys had sips of your whiskey?
No, I've been too busy reading.
You have? What do you think palate and finish on this?
Very strawberry dessert
Is it?
forward
Okay.
for me.
So the strawberries come through.
Yeah.
I think it's very like a nice sweet.
It's like a shortcake
Yeah.
almost.
So I get more of that gingerbread note that
It
they
is a
were
little
talking
spicy
about.
on it.
Yeah, it's like
There's
it's
a lot
really
of
warm.
spice.
There's a lot of warm spice on it. There is kind of on the back end of everything a funky note. I don't know if that's the malted rye, or the malted wheat. Excuse me. I don't know if that's just some pot still product right there, but there's a little.
They don't have pot still, do they?
Thought Makers was on a pot.
Is Maker's pot still? I thought they were called so. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I know they have the big cypress fermenters that they use. Well, some of them, not all of it, obviously. But anyway, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
But there's just a little something funky on the back, and it's kind of almost a welcome note from sort of the sweet, heavy, cherry, strawberry, weedy notes up front. I think it kind of plays well against it. This is good. I like this.
So is it just me, or is it? I mean, to me, it's really spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get a lot of
It does have a spice,
Like
but to me it's
baking
like really
spice.
fruit forward.
Very much fruit forward, but then that spice like really hits mid palate and carries through, man, to the end. But there's a just the overall sweetness, like the caramel they talked about, obviously. It's funny because when we were talking about the Master of Bourbon, when we did that, one of the whiskeys was was it Maker's Cask? I think it was Maker's Mark's Cask, right? And I swore that it was a high rye. I was like, this is a high rye bourbon. I argued for
this has high rye.
10 minutes. I argued that it was a high rye bourbon and like convinced everybody else with me at the table that was going for the Master of Bourbon.
Who's going with me?
Everybody's
Right,
going
yeah.
with me. Even
Who's
some
going
of
down?
the judges though,
Yeah, right.
No, I'm serious. They were, and became a big joke about high rye. So we'll greet each other sometimes that way. Is just say high rye because it's kind of a thing. But
We
for
had
some,
to be there.
well, no, but
We
I'm
weren't.
the point I'm trying to make is that this the soft red winter wheat, which you think people talk about being smooth and creamy and blah, blah, blah. But there's this spiciness sometimes to it, I think.
To me, and I always tell people that my palate stands out different. I've always thought wheat bourbons or wheat whiskeys have a spicier than most rye to me.
Yeah.
You have said that before.
But then I wondered, I mean, is it barrel influenced? Does the barrel somehow add some spice to it, Matt? I mean, is that possible?
I don't know. We typically look at a wheat bourbon in barrels and say that it takes a little bit longer in the barrel, right, to leach out some of those raw grain flavors from the distillate.
Right.
I know it's kind of commonly thought of that a wheated product takes a little bit more aging to get those mature notes. I don't know if that has to do anything with the heat on it, but then what we think of Maker's Mark, they have traditionally low barrel entry proof, correct?
Yeah, they do.
And so this has basically gone through the same life cycle that their single barrels would go through. It's coming out around a similar proof at 117.3. You know, their single barrels are typically 114 to 117-ish, so kind of a similar age and life cycle. So I don't know. That's a good question. If maybe the barrel influence is the same, but I think I agree with Philip's analysis on a lot of wheated products. To me, just drink with this warmth to them. It almost like feels temperature warm.
Yes.
In your mouth, like you have like a spicy hot cinnamon candy or something, just like something that really feels warm on the palate, really like warm on the taste buds. And I think this fits right along with that.
But how interesting that this is just a wheat whiskey, no corn at all, right?
No,
So
it's awesome.
because we've talked about in the past, I mean, is Chad the big wheat whiskey fan, or one of you guys, right?
Not me.
Chad likes everything. Chad likes the funky stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think we kind of talked about, what's going to be. We talked about wheat whiskey, right? Haven't we talked about that on the show, like the emergency, who's going to start? Yeah. So here we have Maker's Mark for the first time in 72 years.
Yeah, and they were obviously thinking about this 8 years ago,
right?
Yeah.
To make a wheat whiskey. So what do you think? Final thoughts on this one?
I like it. Yeah.
It was surprising.
I would buy it for $100.
For $100?
Yeah, same. It's very complex.
Especially like the packaging and everything. Like they really,
beautiful.
for the price point, I would have expected it to be higher because of the packaging.
I mean, if they'd sell it to you in this beautiful Star Hill Farm.
Oh, ooh la la.
I don't think you get that, but they drop that off.
You don't know that.
I don't know. You're right. I don't know that. Maybe, didn't they say it's available at the distillery?
They do.
Well, maybe if you
when
buy
you book a specific tour.
You know what? I bet if you book the tour,
you get
you
the
probably
bag.
do get a cool swag bag.
You maybe get a.
But don't hold Mark to that.
Don't hold me to it.
Yeah.
Don't.
If you go to Maker's Mark and you don't get a cool ass bag like that.
I also forgot to mention, this was on the back page. This is one heck of a one-pager here.
Yeah.
They are forming an alliance with Regenified Understanding Ag, which provides education and technical support to build healthy farm ecosystems.
Yep.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
They're inviting farms, bars, and restaurants starting in New York, Kentucky, and greater London areas to join its mission, pledging to adopt regenerative practices in sourcing and operations while promoting its benefits through menu storytelling and consumer engagement.
They're really
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. My buddy Amanda, who's from England, who works for them now, she kind of manages their farm there. And she's really very active in what they're doing there. And you can take a farm tour. She took us on a tour, and like they're raising sheep, they're raising cattle, they have honeybees. It's pretty cool what they're doing. They're growing wild mushrooms on site.
Oh, cool.
Not the trippy kind of mushrooms, but actual.
but like
somewhere
else.
Like they've bored holes in big logs and they've like seeded it. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Stored it or whatever. So so they're doing a lot of really cool stuff there at Maker's Mark beyond just focusing on the whiskey, but they are very focused on the environment and being conscientious about that. So, and I think Amanda's really instrumental.
Are they doing anything as far as growing like new oak trees? Because I know like Jackie had brought that up to us before.
I think they're doing.
That there was like down the road there was going to be an oak shortage, and so like I know Old Forester was.
Yeah, they've got it. They're working on that. They've got this huge oak tree out, and Amanda took us out there on the tour to check this out. This huge oak tree. I don't know how old it is, but it's huge. And the University of Kentucky is working with them. Shut up, Stacey.
That's also in the press release. UK is working with them. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, UK is working with them. And you're studying the oak, studying that oak. and studying, because drops, the acorns and, the sprouts are coming up all over the forest there. But yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot of cool stuff. So it's not just about the whiskey. It's about what they can do to have sustainability in the future. They pulverize all their bottles and actually use that for some of their pathways instead of, rocks or whatever. They're actually pulverizing that, the bottles and using some of that as well. So yeah, really cool. If you get a chance to go down and check that out, maybe we could have a Bourbon Life. Maybe we could have a field trip.
I was just getting ready to say.
Maybe you could get out that RV that none of us have ever been in.
Hey, I've been on it. I rode in it.
Stacy got to go. Matt's been on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Phil.
You and Chad suck. No, we went to my old Kentucky home last year.
We went
after we went to Jim Beam.
Yeah.
And did a podcast.
That's right. We did.
Oh, so see there, Matt? She got to go to Beam.
Oh, that's when that was part of Bourbon.
That
was National
that
Bourbon Week.
Was that in June, though? I don't remember it being June.
I thought it was because that's when they released the Bardstown collection. Isn't that the same?
Maybe it was.
Remember they had that 20-year-old.
I'll have to look back through. Oh, that 20-year-old
Jim Beam.
Matt, we're just going to soup up your van and we're going to do our own tour.
Yeah, that's right.
That was really fun, though.
They're going to spray paint on this side. The Bourbon Life.
Screw the Bourbon Life.
Part two. All right, guys. We're at the end of round 2. I'm sure our listeners need a break, too. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back for the final round.
the final episode.
That's
Signing off.
Yeah.
We're done. We're out.
Sorry, Chad. You didn't get to be
Sorry,
here.
Chad. We missed you, man. All right. Everybody sit tight. We'll be right back. Welcome to the kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company, where every visit is a celebration of tradition and flavor. Did you know that the kitchen table is nestled right within the heart of the distillery? That's right. You can experience the essence of James B. Beam's legacy while savoring their delectable dishes. Join them every Wednesday through Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. for a culinary journey like no other. Planning a special event? Let the kitchen table be your host, creating unforgettable memories for you and your guests. And don't miss their upcoming Claremont Supper Club event on June 12th, celebrating National Bourbon Week. For more information and reservations, visit beamdistilling.com. The kitchen table at James B. Beam Distilling Company. Come as a friend, leave as family. All right, everybody, welcome back for the third and happily final round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios around the flights of the round rectangular table, it's my good friend, my co-host, Matt.
Hey, what's up, Mark? We've kept this one fairly between the rails.
I think so.
It's because Chad's not here.
Yes. If Chad had been here.
And they're structured questions.
That's right.
Yeah, they're structured questions.
I had to rein this thing in.
I appreciate that.
He brought notes. Thank God.
You guys didn't even say anything about the fact that I cleaned the table off today, too.
Well, I'm disappointed. There's always some random shit that I want to try. Now
there weren't like 600 bottles.
There's a few things here.
There are a few things that came in the mail, yeah. So, yeah, we can make those
usually
after.
It'll be like Oak Leaf Distillery or some random. And I'm like, what's that? It's all gone.
It's all in the back room, Philip. You go back and peruse.
Don't go back there.
Hey, you want to go to the back room with me, Philip?
No. Take an adult.
Did I mention that I was a coxswain?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I want to know how much it's going to cost to put those shelves up. Because you make the right price, I'll come do it.
I don't know. We're going to figure it out, man.
I was going to say, you can't put up your own damn shelves. What kind of man are you? I'm just kidding.
He's a coxswain.
I'm like the coxswain. Coxswains don't have to do their own shelving.
Anita and I can do it.
Are you guys you're gonna drill and put all those pipes, everything in there? I know you guys like to drill pipes.
Don't
come
fucking
on.
doubt my abilities, Mark.
This will be done in like 4 hours.
What?
Jesus
come
Christ,
on,
Mark.
Philip,
Do you even
do it.
own like a sander or a saw or anything?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, I do.
Well, you should already have that shit up. Come on.
Do you have a level?
Well, guys, thanks for joining us tonight for the Bourbon Life Podcast.
means
That's the
no.
end of it.
Do you have a stud finder?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
He uses
right
it on
here.
himself. That sounds.
Beep, 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 beep. Anyway. All right. So anyway, wait, I got to Matt, and I didn't say who else we had with us. Obviously,
Philip Trebek's here.
Philip Trebek.
That's right.
Suck it, Trebek. We have Stacy.
Hey. Oh man, that was condescending as shit.
What?
We have Stacy. It's fine. It's all right.
That was said with joy and love in my heart. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We're playing Bourbon Life Jeopardy.
Yep.
And we
Today.
are sucking ass.
Yeah, well, you guys are. I'm kicking ass. But we have one final pour, so do we want to talk about, anybody want to talk about?
Philip, tell us what we're drinking this round.
All right. We are drinking the Knob Creek Cast Strength Bluegrass Bartenders Fund. 127.1 proof.
Yeah. And why is that important? Because it is the very first cask strength barrel pick of Knob Creek.
It was barreled in 2015, bottled in 2025.
So I think it's about a 9
and change, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, September of 2015 to April of 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So, so the Bluegrass Bartenders Fund was started by Chef Edward Lee in Louisville.
Oh, great chef.
Yeah. So, and he does a lot of great things for people that work in the industry. So,
Was that started during COVID?
I think so.
Yes.
Bartenders Fund?
So they did this pick, and it's the very first cask strength Knob Creek. So, Knob Creek, obviously, you pick a barrel, 120 proof, right? It comes out 120 proof. So they've decided now they're going to do cask strength because they do have barrels that are good that may not make it up to 120 proof. And of course, they have barrels that are higher than 120 proof, and they didn't want to water them down anymore. So they're just going to go with cask strength. So whatever barrel you pick, they're going to leave it at cask strength and let it go. So
Love that.
we'll start seeing things, down in the 1-teens probably. Up to that's what, 127.1, Philip, I think?
Yeah, 127.1.
Yeah.
And for all you nerds out there, it was Warehouse K, Floor 4, Rick House 4.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's cool that they're doing that now. I got to try that at the Smoke and Oak dinner they had last week down there, and I was like, yep, got to buy a bottle of that because I thought it was pretty tasty. Of course,
Can I ask what was retail on that?
I've got the receipt. I want to say at the distillery it was still under 70 maybe.
Oh, okay. That's.
Okay,
I was expecting to be more than that.
I think. I'll have to double check that, but I want to say that was maybe 68, 69, 65, somewhere around there maybe.
I'm a Knob Creek slut, so I would buy that.
And
It's cheaper than Blanton's, or right around the same price. Go buy this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I saw a bottle of Blanton's. I randomly walked into Total Wine the other day.
Of course he did.
They had a couple of E.H. Taylor small batches, and they had one bottle of Blanton's. It's on the shelf, not on their...
Oh, they didn't even have it at like the...
No, not up front. No.
Table?
They had
Really?
it on the shelf, and I saw little stickers that said limit 1. And so I knew, obviously, it was something. I walked over there. It was Blanton's, $99
Holy shit.
at Total
On
Wine.
the
For a bottle of Blanton's.
Oh my God.
Because I reached up to grab, I was like, I always have a bottle of Blanton's because I like to give those as gifts. People that don't really know bourbon that well.
I mean, it's okay. It wasn't a bad bourbon. I still don't think it's a bad bourbon, but for
not at
freaking
$100. Yeah.
$99, no.
So really, I started.
I was gonna say at the distillery, I think they're like 65, maybe it's like
I think
$70
it's like
out the door.
69, $70.
I picked it up and then I saw the price. I was like,
$99.
I was like, you got to be shitting me, dude.
I
So
walked into Total Wine a couple weeks ago and
Popped
got a Eagle Rare and was excited about that.
Nice.
Just a regular Eagle Rare.
Yeah, they don't even usually put that. I mean, it's rare they put those out in the gift shop.
that's why it's Eagle Rare. Anyway, but I mean, 10 years old, and well, technically not a single barrel any longer because of the way they do their bottling, right? But it's still pretty much a single barrel. And 10 years old, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take Eagle Rare.
And
all
it
day.
wasn't $99, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I remember the days when it was $29 a bottle,
those
right?
days are long gone,
Anyhow. All right, so
Knob
we're drinking
Creek.
Knob Creek. Matt, what are you picking up? Since we've been jibber jabbering, you've been nosing it. What do you get?
It's got, first, the nose is great. It's a lot of vanilla. There's like a vanilla taffy note that comes across. There's a little bit of that typical Knob Creek peanut note. It comes with their yeast on the back.
Yeah.
The nose is thick. To me, for some reason, I'm nosing it, and it kind of smells like chewy for what that's worth. It like has this kind of like really thick nose. Some of those pungent flavors come through. There's almost something a little smoky on it as well, like a smoked mesquite or like a kind of like a hickory type note with this one as well, before it kind of brightens up with those vanillas, but not a lot of cherry. I don't get too much oak on it, but it's just like it got this thick, peanut brittle, chewy, just really, really lovely, inviting nose.
Stace, what do you get?
I would say it reminds me of like a turtle cluster that you get. Like it's got the nuttiness, little caramel.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm getting from it.
I like that. Yeah. Philip, what about you? Anything else to
I really can't add anything. I mean, they're
It's
nailing
really,
it.
I like
it.
it.
Is
That was a lot.
I mean, it's a classic Knob Creek. Like, just anything that if you're a Knob Creek fan, this is going to be exactly.
But what
you're
Matt said about it being like thick, I'm picturing like you're biting into something like nougaty, like real chewy.
Thick
or
and
like
chewy.
when Mark was chewing Matt's meat
Oh God.
and it got caught in his throat earlier.
Oh, yeah. I can't add much. The fruitiness, I get some fruit like cherry.
Yeah, you're fruity.
Whatever, man. I always
Picking
get
that
some
up from
fruitiness.
yourself.
Not
No,
that
this
there's
is
anything
awesome.
wrong with that, but yeah, it is. It's a very good pick. So they did a great job, and it's 127.1. So we'll come back to the palate and the finish here to see if that extra proof adds much else to it. So Philip, we are on the final round of Jeopardy. Is it my turn?
You
I
get
think
to
so.
you get to kick us off here. Okay, so we got the Bourbon Life Podcast history for 200 and 400, Bourbon history for 400.
Oh, that's
and
the last one. Let's do bourbon. No, I wanted. Yeah, bourbon history 400. Let's do
right.
that.
In what year was the first commercial distillery established in Kentucky, and who was its founder? Two-parter.
Bum bum bum. The first commercial distillery in Kentucky.
And I had to word it specifically for that.
Commercial.
Yeah, because it had to be commercial. I don't know who it was, but I'm going to guess probably around like 1795.
You were decent close. Anybody want to steal?
You don't know who it was? Take a guess at who it was.
I'm thinking it was maybe somebody, not Buffalo Trace, but potentially over there where they actually
I was going to say Buffalo Trace.
where they were, that location, but I don't remember who the original. I want to say it was two brothers that did that, but I could be very way off on that one. But for some reason in my mind, and it wasn't actually at where Buffalo Trace is now, but it was very close to it, but I can't remember.
Nope. So the first commercial distillery was Evan Williams in 1783.
Well, shit.
Ah.
Okay. Well,
Okay, 1783 says right. So on the bottle of
yeah.
their
So
white
I was
or
off by
black
12
label.
years, but I'm
So,
surprised I didn't realize.
Buffalo Trace claims that they've been distilling for 200 years.
Right.
But it wasn't a commercial distillery when they first started.
Right. Okay. Anyway, does that mean I lose points?
Yes, you lose
Mother-
400 points.
How many did I have?
You had 400 points. And you're back to zero.
What are you laughing at? How many points she got?
I'm negative. I don't
Negative
care.
something.
It's fine. You're back to zero.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Damn.
This has been educational, though. I enjoy this. And I
Yeah.
wish Chad was here.
Yeah.
I would
I
like
think
to
like
know.
the one that I was like, Chad's going to get that's the Kentucky Gentleman one. I was like, he'll know.
He'll know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny.
All right, Stacey, now it's to you. You've got Bourbon Life Podcast history for 200, 400, or Bourbon Industry for 100, or 300.
Let's do Bourbon Life Podcast history for 2.
All right. Who was the featured guest on episode 3, season 1 of the Bourbon Life Podcast?
Jackie Zykan.
That is incorrect.
Damn.
Season 3, episode 1.
No, season, what did I say? Hold on.
I think you said
Episode 3, season 1.
You said season 3.
Oh, sorry. I
episode
read,
1.
okay.
Jill Kimberlin.
That is incorrect.
What?
Episode
3.
3, season 1. 2 people come to mind.
Oh, and this was the Daily Double, so.
Do-do-do-do.
Well,
Matt, you
I
can
didn't
double
have
your,
any- I
you
didn't
can
have
double your
anything
points,
to-
Matt. You
anything
can
to
get,
bet.
if you get it, you can get 400 points.
It's between 2 people.
Come on, Matt. You got it.
Nate Woodruff.
That is incorrect. So it was actually between 2 people. It was Mark and Matt's first solo episode.
Oh, trick question. I dig it.
Because we had Jill on talking about red wine. Remember?
That's right.
Converting the red wine drinker. I thought she was our third
Oh, wait,
episode.
so that was gone. Okay, so we've got
Because
two.
it was douchebag was number 1, wasn't he? And then Nate was number.
Who's douchebag?
I'm not going to say his name, but anyway.
So it was between Nate and that person you were just referencing.
Okay, yeah.
Was who I thought.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, so
Episode 2 was your wine drinker friend.
Kim, or Jill Kimberlin.
Jill.
Okay,
So then episode 3 was you two flying solo.
See, I didn't remember
Jill
that.
Holder.
Okay, so we got 2 questions left.
She doesn't listen to the podcast anyway.
Who does?
Your
Jill
parents.
Holder. Yes, that's right. Jill Holder. I apologize, Jill, if you happen, because I've known you as anyway.
She sounds like a nice lady.
She
was till she came on here.
We couldn't convert her into a bourbon drinker, unfortunately.
It happens.
So it happens. So anyway, so what's going on? Oh, let's talk about some news. So obviously last week, what was it? May 16th, May 17th, well, 16th. Obviously the tornadoes came through southern Kentucky and wiped out parts of Pulaski County and Laurel County, London, and Somerset. So, I mean, there's a lot of devastation down there. It's unfortunate. I'm sure a lot of people have seen the pictures. So if you get the opportunity, I just want to encourage people, to find a place where you can donate. Like Samaritan's Purse is a group that does a lot of great work. My dad used to do some work with those guys and travel around and help build churches and stuff for them. But they do a lot of great work. And then there's other groups out there. There's a company, Martin's Peterbilt, that's out of London, and they work on trucks and stuff. But they were going to, I think it was up to $200,000. They have a GoFundMe. And whatever they raised, they were going to match it.
Oh, wow.
Up to $200,000. Wow. Yeah. So there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of great stuff. But
and the Catholic priest here in Lexington,
Sitchko, Jim.
Yeah, I saw where he was
Father
doing $16,500 or something in gift cards, and then if they hit that amount, then he was going to match it. Yeah. And they were going to individually go to people's homes and like pay bills that they can't.
Which they need, man. When I back in the day when I lived in Missouri for like 2 years, I really got into storm chasing and I've been fascinated with storms my whole life, but I never saw the aftermath. It was always going out and kind of a thrill. I mean, it was adrenaline, to go out and chase storms and see tornadoes and try to track them down. And you watch the movies, Twisters or whatever. And I mean, it's quite adrenaline. I mean, it's a rush. But once you go, because I went in there last Monday and worked and helped and volunteered. And I mean, it was devastating. I mean, it's absolutely devastating what these people have gone through. So we helped a couple of families. We fed about 300 people, which was a great experience. But to see what the aftermath was, I mean, it's mind numbing.
It's awful.
And to see, I'm not trying to be a downer on the show. I'm just trying to encourage people that are listening, take the time, see where you can help. If you can go down and volunteer, even if you can become part of a group, get some people together, whatever. These people need everything. I mean, the family, we were set up in this little corner of the neighborhood, and it was the Sunshine Hill that got wiped out, and that's where we were. We were in that neighborhood, and we set up a big grill, and we were feeding people. And this woman pulled up with this little boy. He had cuts and bruises and scratches all over his face. He and his mom had been in a trailer that got picked up, thrown across the street into the neighbor's yard, and was smacked. There was nothing left of this trailer.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely nothing. They both were thrown out. They both lived. Surprisingly, the mom showed up later. But to hear, listen to her talk, I mean, she's very thankful, obviously, that she lived through it. Don't know how she did, because there was nothing was left of that mobile home. But they lost everything. I mean, absolutely everything. And we just driving around. We were on, some of the people we were working with had golf carts that brought, just so we could go through the neighborhood and deliver whatever we could. And, there were people that were just sitting out there, and where there was a home, I mean, there was nothing, absolutely nothing. And, just to going through, picking up rubble and looking for stuff, I mean, it was heartbreaking.
It's definitely a humbling experience.
It was. I mean, it really put things in perspective for me, because I'm very fortunate, and I know that. And these people are going to need a lot of help, and it's not going to be something that's going to be fixed in a month or 3 months. It's going to be a 6 to 12 month project.
Right.
So anyway, I just want to encourage people out there that, if you can give, great. If you can spend time. And to me, I think that makes a difference is, when you can be just in this person's life for even a few minutes, just to let them know you're there and willing to help and do whatever you can, even if it's just talking to them. I mean, it can make a difference, but they need a lot of stuff. So I just want to encourage everybody out there, if you have the time or so inclined, just, help out the way you can. Anyway,
Should post some links whenever you.
Yeah, I posted the GoFundMe for that Martin's Peterbilt, but I'll get online and I'll do that too. I'll add some additional links like the Samaritan Spurs because I know they do really good work, and I'm sure there's other agencies and groups out there that are doing stuff. Red Cross is always good. I used to volunteer with those guys years ago. I used to drive their big Irv, the rescue.
That's terrifying.
Whoa, what are you talking
How
about?
was that?
I did. I used to drive their big
Were
Irv.
you Chris Farley? Get on the bus.
Anywho, all right. So didn't mean to be a buzzkill on that man, but just wanted
That's
to
not a buzzkill. I think
it's important.
We have a platform to promote awareness for things like that. So I think that's a good use of time.
In the past, we did stuff for people out west a couple years ago when the tornadoes went through, and fundraisers and everything going on. So,
and it's a reminder, we have a lot of listeners in Kentucky.
Sure.
Just to
absolutely
take it serious.
Yep.
When you know there's going to be storms,
honestly,
you've got to take it serious.
Yeah. And here's the one thing that freaked me out the most is that the people that were in the trailer, because trailers are like the worst place to be, it seems like. And this mom and this little 2-year-old boy were picked up in their trailer, absolutely thrown out of the trailer. The trailer was across the street in the neighbor's yard, and it was smashed. You couldn't even tell it was a trailer. It looked like someone had taken a cardboard box and just stepped on it.
Smashed it, yeah.
And there was, if you looked at it, you would have no idea. There was like this twisted steel that was the frame of the underneath the home, that it sat on, and it was just twisted and bent. You couldn't even tell it was the frame of a home. They landed in the yard of their neighbor, and their neighbor lived in a brick house, and the brick house was halfway destroyed, and the 2 people that lived in the brick house were killed.
Oh, God.
So it's like, what the hell? You think you're in a brick house, you get in your basement, you're going to be okay, and they weren't, unfortunately. And this mom and this baby that had no place to go because they hit so fast, got thrown out of the home. They found them laying in the middle of the street, and they're both okay.
I was going to say, we drove through that night, earlier that day when it started getting nasty on our way to Florida. Had no idea it was going to get that bad.
Yeah.
No idea. And I honestly didn't even know that it did get that bad until a day or two later. Somebody in Florida was like, oh my gosh, really bad storms went through there.
Oh, yeah.
Tornado. And I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a good point, Philip. Just, always monitor the weather. And people, I know sometimes it seems like weathercasters get a little fanatical about it, but man, there are times where it's like you really need to know and do the right thing.
Better be safe than sorry.
Exactly, 100%. All right, let's jump back to Jeopardy because we're going to wrap this game up. Whose turn was it?
All right, I think it's Stacy's turn.
Because I screwed up.
So we've got.
I thought I just
Stacy just went, so
Oh,
it's
it's
me.
Matt.
See,
Okay.
you guys keep trying to screw me over.
All right,
So Matt, we've got Bourbon
it.
Industry for 300 or the Bourbon Life Podcast History for 400.
You pick me one of them.
All right.
I haven't gotten any of them right yet.
Because I like you. I'll give you the Bourbon Industry for 300. It's a daily double.
Oh, all right, a chance
All right, so
to
you got a chance to get in the lead and keep.
totally.
Wait, you don't have any points.
So
Yeah, but he
So
can
I can wager
get
what 300 then?
Yeah. So then.
Or can I wager
Oh, he
600?
can wager 300
Well,
points.
that's what he's gonna get. I'm gonna step in here since we're not doing a final Jeopardy. If you get it right, you get 600 points, man.
See, it's good to be the king. I'm gonna get it wrong, but
Man.
I appreciate your generosity.
Who is the first female founder of an American whiskey company?
She is.
She's the first female founder of an American whiskey company.
of an entire company.
Yeah.
Is this Lori Karsich?
Freaking knew it. Yes.
Matt gets 600 points.
All right.
I was like, if he doesn't get this, I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
Good question.
That was
right.
question.
There were a few names that came across.
Okay, so Matt, you were negative 400, so now you have 200 points.
Yeah, well,
Hot damn.
look at that. It pays to know
What a
the
sucks.
right people.
All right, Mark,
One question
the
left.
final question for 400 points, and anyone can steal it. So,
Oh yeah.
what day and year did the Whiskey Trip become available on the Bourbon Life platform?
Oh.
Can we call a lifeline? I know that's a different show, but Mike, give us a ring here.
Hold on.
Damn, this is specific as shit.
I know,
but
it's
I
like-
feel like if you're the person that
Edits and
produces
releases
the show, maybe you should have an idea.
If you're driving around saying I'm the Bourbon Life, you should know this.
It's a lot of dates to remember. He's so important.
Let me think about that.
You want to know date? The full date?
Yeah. But, I mean, I could be generous to say the month and the year. You don't have to do the exact day. I know next time I'll be less specific with it.
This is very specific.
Man, you put us through the ringer here. These are good questions.
They are really good questions.
Gary Gayhart. God.
Yeah. That's going to haunt my
My
dreams.
new spirit animal. Gary Gayhart.
I'm going to say January of 23.
That is incorrect.
Don't get on your phone.
I was going to look after. 23 was the only guess I had. I don't know month. But let's just say May of 23.
That is incorrect.
I will say March of 23.
You were close. It was February 28th of 2023.
Oh, off by a
Freaking February.
day.
That was close, Matt. But you still win because nobody else has
Yep.
points.
Yep.
Son of a nutcracker.
Man.
Matt,
Congratulations,
Mark was negative
Matt.
400. Stacy was negative
Don't-
500.
10,000.
Matt had,
Man.
Matt
These
had
were-
200.
There were some really, really specific questions.
Yeah, that was tricky, but that was good. You know, but I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, I know I just did like season 3, episode 21. I'm counting back and I'm like, what month? I'm like, did we start in January? I guess not, obviously. Anyway, let's talk about this Knob Creek. Palate finish. Matt, you just take a sip.
It's kind of quintessential. That nuttiness comes through. 127 proof. I don't think it drinks all the way up there, but it definitely drinks up there.
Yeah.
Really, so I put a touch of water in mine afterwards, and it with a little touch of water brings out more of those nutty flavors, that yeast from their yeast strain, that nutty aroma that a lot of people associate with Knob Creek is really there. But good vanilla, nice like kind of toffee caramel notes. I think like that chocolate turtle or the caramel turtle that Stacy referenced. I think that's a really, really great descriptor to take across from the nose to the palate to kind of bridge those two together.
Yeah.
This is just quintessential. Ain't nothing wrong here.
Philip, what do you think?
I agree with everything he said. It is it's a classic Knob Creek, like through and through.
Stacy?
Agreed. And I will say it doesn't drink as hot as 127.
Yeah.
But I would say like maybe like the 110 to like 115 range for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the nose matches the palate, I think, quite a bit on this one. I am getting a little bit more fruitiness on the palate with this, like maybe some like blackberry or like cherry in there. But it's not fruit forward. I'll just say it's like the hints are in there. But this is freaking delicious.
It's like very almost dessert. It's like
I love this.
It's almost like confectioner sugar. It's so sweet to me. How sweet this is on my palate. But yeah, the nuttiness, the spiciness comes. I get a little spiciness on this as well.
Yeah.
But this isn't anywhere near as spicy, I don't think.
Not at all. As that wheat whiskey?
As the
No.
wheated.
As the soft red winter wheat?
Right.
Not at all. Yeah, a little bit of spice kick, the nuttiness, the proof. Yeah, I agree. It does not drink like 127.
Super oily. This is like
Oh, it is.
just absolutely
I mean, they haven't cut it down, right?
covers
It's cast
everything in the
strength, right?
palate. Even with a little water, it's still.
Yeah.
I took through just a touch in mine. It's just like coats everything like a lacquer.
And the flavor definitely lingers. This one, it's going to stay with you for a while.
I'm excited that they're doing these cast strength.
I hope they
releases,
do it
man.
with the rye.
I wish they'd go back to.
yeah,
I wish they'd go back
yeah.
to 15 years.
I would love to see some cast strength rye.
Oh, God. I would buy every bottle.
I'd love to see some cast
In my
strength
opinion, right
15-year
now,
picks.
really with like the big guys, Knob Creek's putting out the best stuff. I
Yeah.
think.
Yep.
That's.
Yeah, I could, see an argument for that for sure. So, all right, guys, we're at the end of round 3. Final thoughts on this Knob Creek Bluegrass Bartenders Fund.
Buy it all day, every day.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
the
you can-
price, you should buy 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Buy 6.
I should have. I did not. I bought that one. I should have bought 2 or more. Unfortunately, I did not. Matt, same.
Yeah, I think this is a perfect representation. If you want like the showcase bottle of Knob Creek at single barrel 120 plus proof, I feel like this kind of hits everything. There are no like crazy outlier weird notes. This is just like
quintessential Knob Creek,
right down the pipe.
Because you're a Knob Creek guy. I mean, this is kind of your
gotta
jam,
love
right?
them.
If you're at the distillery and you're stuck between buying like a Little Book or a Booker's and two of these, just buy two of these.
Yeah, agreed.
Now, I mean, I've got the Little Book 9, and it's delicious.
I do want to try that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, the Knob Creek of the night, we did the tasting, the Little Book 9 and that Knob Creek, and like Anita was like, oh, I love that chapter 9. People across the table were like, ooh, I love the little. I was like, yeah, it's really good. I'm like, but that Knob Creek is like, it's
for
the
the bang for your buck.
This
is
no doubt about that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for showing up.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
for hanging out.
Organizing
Philip,
Jeopardy.
thank you so much.
Round of applause.
Next
for
time
Philip.
I'll dial back a little less specific. Yeah.
That's all right. No,
Specificity.
it was fun. It was like because it was like those.
We're not that smart.
So my original plan was to have Stacy and Chad come up with questions too, and then mostly challenge you
guys.
to
Quiz us about
Yeah,
shit.
sorry, I was
but
busy.
that it's all right.
Yeah, dude. After I do a show, it's like
Yeah, no kidding. I don't even remember my
it's like
co-host's
Veba
name.
gone.
I thought for sure you all would get
Scooter.
the
Same Scooter.
season 1, episode 3 for the first solo Matt and Mark episode.
In my head, for some reason, I just picture because I'm looking at. We've got Matt set up a Google sheet, I did, right? So it's like all of our guests, and in my mind, I'm looking at that, and for some reason,
He just glossed over
Jill's name. No, Jill's name just was like.
I had forgotten about her, but the two other names that I was thinking of came up.
Yeah.
Nate and that other person.
But thanks to Gronk for the specifics on
Yeah,
some
that's
of those because I couldn't find them. But
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks, Philip, for doing that.
Yeah, thanks,
guys.
Philip.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it up, Philip?
it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait for the next one.
Stacey, quit looking at your watch. Answer the damn question.
Ditto.
Matt,
Good to be here.
that's all I get.
Morning, noon, or night, whatever
Any
time it
of
is,
our
you're getting our
listeners,
Bourbon Life
if
podcast.
you all have any random questions you want in the next
Yeah,
Bourbon Life
yeah.
Jeopardy, find me at Bourbon Hunting KY on Instagram. Send them to me in message, and I'll add them to
Yeah.
the list.
Or also, if any of you all knew the answer to those questions,
Yeah.
let us know.
let us know.
Because
Tell us how
you're a damn
stupid we
genius
are.
out there.
Yeah. Matt, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
Send it home.
He's still hung up
Anyway.
on the Gary Gayheart thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Too.
Yeah, I am too. Oh,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go down the rabbit hole later.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that I don't know when we put shows out and what they were. Anyway,
Hey, we're like, 6 seasons in?
This is
That's a
season
lot.
6,
How many
yeah.
episodes you do a season?
When did I join?
Usually 52. We've had a little break here the last few months, but yeah. it's been a
So
long time.
I do know the Angel Share was 2022. So it had to
So
be.
it was 2022.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
after you guys had already been established.
but it wasn't but a couple of episodes that me and Chad did before
we got her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, there you go.
not that
And
far.
then
You're a
Chad
loyal
left
member.
us for the
God, it's been
2
that
beards,
long.
1 meat, or whatever.
Sausage. It's sausage night.
Sausage night.
Night, that's
2 beards, 1 meat.
That was awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed your time with us. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We do have sponsors. We appreciate them as well.
Yeah,
So
thank you for sticking around.
Thank you for our sponsors. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Like Philip said, you can email us too at bourbonlife@gmail.com. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, join our private Facebook group, The Bourbon Lifers. We'd love to have you in there. I guess with that said, don't forget to check out the Whiskey Trip with Mike doing that every Tuesday. New episode comes out under our umbrella, so check that out. Mike's doing some really good stuff. Got some great guests on there, so give him a like and follow as well. It's a Whiskey Trip on Instagram and Facebook. With that said, I'm going to wrap it up. Send us home with our tagline, which is, may your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Cue the violin.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.